One of the key things that we would love to see happen is to revitalise the Buy Kiwi Made campaigns and improve country of origin labelling. We know that right now we have an economy and tax system settings which disproportionately see capital flow into property speculation, and that comes at the expense of innovation and of productivity. When we're talking about the economy, what is it that we're actually talking about? Because what the Green Party are talking about is all of us and the stuff that we create and the rules and the regulations that we put in place to try and incentivise or disincentivise certain types of outcomes. And I believe if we are to be really clear and coherent about the outcomes that we're actually looking to achieve, and for the Greens, that's for the betterment and for the well-being of people and planet, then we can start to have a far more constructive discussion, debate and dialogue about how we get there in the first place.
We've had a government over the past 6 years that has ramped up the spending to an extraordinary extent, and yet, the quality of services that people are getting has got worse in every area. If we can get these things right, get the performance of government services back to value for money, make sure that the rules of the game are made in a way that respects people's time and doesn't dump red tape and regulation on them every time there's a political problem. But that is going to require some real change, not just Chris for Chris and red for blue and hope and borrow that things get better. I mean actually confronting where we're at and changing our direction.
Politicians will always tell you this election is the most important for our country, but I genuinely believe that is the case today, because we are heading in the wrong direction in many respects as a country, and we need to turn it around and get it back on track, as Chris Luxon would say. Because every year with inflation pushing people into higher tax brackets, it's the finance minister's dream, because more tax revenue comes in without actually supposedly changing the tax rates, and a disciplined government reduces those thresholds and returns money back to the pockets of New Zealanders, which is what we propose to do. And our bold vision and infrastructure over the next few decades is to connect Whangarei and Tauranga and Hamilton with a proper 4-lane highway. And skills and education is the other key area. When 60% of kids aren't attending school regularly, you've got a real problem.
Look, political parties cannot proceed sailing on ignoring the fiscal torpedoes, no matter what the cost. New Zealand First fiscal strategy will begin returning to New Zealand a significant surplus. We need to start paying down debt. Doing this takes the heat off interest rates and inflation, and is the single biggest thing responsible government must do to ease the cost of living burden. To be simple, it's exports, exports, exports. It's add value to the max before any other economy gets it. Use IT, particularly with your young people, and also remember that productivity is a taxation incentivized target that we should have been doing a long, long time ago.
Our commitment remains to continue on housing, infrastructure on roads, transport, building resilience, and in health. Continuing the drive to reduce emissions and to support business to adapt. Continuing to improve our health system, grow the workforce, and for dental health care under 30-year-olds, because that's a major gap in our health system at the moment. Continuing to address the cost of living, keeping communities safe, supporting business development in the range of areas that we prioritise, which includes IT and technology and the gaming industry, through support for R&D and what have you. But above all, what we promise, we know we can pay for.